Hey guys, this is Helena with Glass Factory, and I have Iyla joining us today. How are you doing, Iyla?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I've been great. I just want to get things started, and I want to hear your origin story as an artist. So, do you want to give me the lore?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, where to even begin? I have really been singing like my entire life. Like from the time I was literally in the womb, my dad was like putting headphones on my mom's belly. Um,
Love that.
and it's funny because my dad is a singer-songwriter and like was always really wanting me to listen to the best vocalists because he's like,
Mm,
if she's gonna be a singer, she needs to have like really good singers in her ear. And
love that.
so my whole life was really like such a creative, like nurturing
Hmm.
space. And I danced as well a lot of my life. To be honest, I kind of like hid behind dancing so I didn't have to sing and talk and like be vulnerable and I'm shy and you know, whatever. But I knew always that singing
Mm,
would be like what I wanted to do. I just needed to feel brave enough. And so as I got older, I would like start singing in front of people and yeah, I went to a performing arts high school and so they wanted to make like the triple threat. And so I
gotcha.
was forced to sing in front of people. And then from there,
Gotcha.
it's kind of history. Yeah, and I've never stopped since,
That's
honestly.
awesome. Well, I do have a couple of follow-up questions, but firstly, I also relate with that as a former dancer, like just hiding behind dancing, but I was a
Hmm.
gymnast first, so I danced like a gymnast.
Oh,
So
wait, is that a ba that's not a bad thing.
it kind of is because like my movements were very forced. I was really good for like drills. I wasn't very
Okay.
good for like interpretive. I
Okay, well, I
wasn't
mean,
very
that's
like,
good.
yeah.
I'm like, so you're flexible and you can do tricks?
Yeah, I was really, really good at
That
tricks.
seems like
So,
the opposite of me, actually. That's so funny. Oh, that's cool. Okay,
yeah,
dance
so do you still
background.
dance and like what do you prefer? Like what genre? Oh my gosh, it's been like 10 years for
I
me.
know, I don't even know the word.
Yeah.
What a cat. No, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me not try. No, no, I love dancing. Ballet was always like my thing. Like from the time I was 2 until I was 18, I was like hours and hours a day
Mm.
ballerina. Now that is too like painful. I was gonna say ouchy, but anyway, painful for me like physically. But I still will take a ballet class every once in a while. But it's
Mm.
hard. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I was doing it for so long. Something I got into like maybe I'm trying to think. It was like more than 5 years ago when I started, but was actually pole dancing, which
Mm.
is so hard. Like
Yeah.
those classes and those dancers are like, what? Just so much respect. So painful. Speaking of crazy shoes and all that stuff,
Yeah,
like,
for real.
but I think it's funny because as an artist, I definitely like dance in my videos when I can,
Hmm.
when it seems appropriate. And I swear, taking those classes with those like 8-inch heels and dancing on point for so long has made it where I can like wear any outfit, any heel, any shoe, and like perform. So I'm very grateful for all of that.
So you grew up on your tiptoes is basically what you're saying.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. I sure did.
Have you ever had any like, okay, I know this is kind of a weird question, but it's just speaking from experience, are your
Yeah.
Achilles shorter than the average person because of that?
Um, I don't know, but I know that I do have tendonitis in both Achilles tendons. So
Mm,
that's
okay, so
super,
possibly.
yeah, props.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a yes. But yeah, I do for the rest of my life have tendonitis, so that's exciting.
Yay, love that.
Yeah, exactly. That's really
Uh,
funny.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could honestly talk about like that kind of stuff, that whole world forever, but we're here to
Same.
talk about your music, of course, too. So, but yeah, so we kind of go back to you listening to music pretty much since you were in the womb. Who were your parents like having you listen to? I'm curious.
I was listening to a lot of Motown
Mm,
for a lot of my life and also a lot of kind of everything. Like my mom was a huge like Aretha Franklin and the
mm,
Supremes fan and also like a huge Dolly Parton fan. My dad was always playing like a ton of like rock music and like Tool and like alt
nice.
stuff. They're both pretty young. And like cool. And so
Yeah,
there was a lot of that. And then my dad also always would play like Ray Charles and Willie Nelson and like a lot of classics as well. So it was kind of everything you can imagine.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised to hear Tool.
I know.
We love
Yeah.
Tool, but that was a surprise.
And there was also a lot of like Marilyn Manson. There was just,
Nice.
yeah, just like the spectrum really
Yeah,
of everything.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what song, yours or not, do you feel fits the mood and the vibe in today in particular?
Oh my gosh. Like actually today,
Yeah, just today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like my song Pledge today. Like I
Oh my
feel,
gosh, yes.
you know what I mean? I'm like it's giving pledge allegiance to my love. It's giving like I don't want anything less than. I don't want
Mm,
any woman to have anything less than they, deserve. That's
no
what I'm
joke, I was
feeling right
listening
now.
to that on repeat before we were chatting.
I
So that
love that.
hook, that vocal hook is, I can't get
Thank
it out of
you.
my head. So
Thank you.
it's
Oh, I love
perfect.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely I agree with that. That's the vibe today.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. You wrote most of the album with your longtime collaborator, Cadis. How has that relationship evolved over the years, especially through the project and this album?
Oh man, it's such a blessing to have Cadis, like to feel seen and from so early on. I met him 10 years ago.
Mm,
And I was about 21 at the time. And I had just run into a lot of people telling me what I should be doing,
mm,
whether it was based on my voice or my look or whatever, typical music industry stuff.
yeah.
And Cadis just totally accepted me for who I was
Mm,
and felt like I could work in this industry and be successful as the person I was. And so that was really cool. But together we really built this sound that then, came out in my EPs and singles and stuff. So to have us be able to do the album
mm,
is like a dream come true. And we're both people who we're such perfectionists and we're always trying to like outdo ourselves. And like that can be sometimes a challenging environment just because we both are like, it could be better, it could be better. I want to redo my vocal. And he'll be like, rewrite this verse and, whatever. But I think it's really nice to have somebody in my corner who also is like almost never satisfied because it just
mm,
keeps us growing and evolving, and always wanting the best for each other and for our sound.
mm.
Because we both believe in, the timeless artists, and how important those artists are.
Yeah, totally. That's really cool that you found somebody too that just like accepts you for who you are because I don't know, we all know we can all do the industry talk. We get it. Yeah. You did
Absolutely.
you could
Yeah.
either, accommodate for what's trending or you could find somebody that's like made for you and that seems like that's what's going
Yeah,
on, you know?
exactly. No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of my greatest blessings for sure is just being able to have that.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Cool. So I guess we're gonna go right into the album, honestly. But first I want to congratulate you on the release of Weeping Angels. It's a really good album.
Thanks.
Really loved hearing it.
Thank you.
How did creating this album channel your journey through grief? And could you share a little bit of the story navigating your experiences?
Of course, yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, it was definitely there through every phase of grief, at least so far.
Mm,
And it was interesting because we had a lot of the album done when my mom passed. And I don't even know how, to be honest. I don't know how we had a lot of the album done because I was actually her caregiver. So
mm,
she was sick and she wasn't diagnosed terminal. So it was kind of we were in a situation of like, we're going to get through this. It's so hard. It's so hard, but we're going to get through this and then we're going to put the album out and my mom's going to be healthy
mm,
and it did not go that way. And the way that the album changed once she passed was that a lot of the songs you hear on it now that are more fun, those existed before, right?
mhm,
And the ones that dive a little bit deeper into pain and heartache came after she passed. And to me, it really changed the way I saw the album because which, took some adjusting because I saw the album as being like, oh, I want to come out with this really like fun and like sexy and free debut album. And while that does exist, it's honestly so much more authentic and real that you can be all of those things and also be in the worst time of your life.
Yeah.
So I think that really changed the trajectory of it, but it also made it so much more whole, I guess,
Mm,
as my experience as a woman and just as a human being, and the reality of that.
mm, yeah. Wow. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's all just it's such a journey. Oh my goodness. So
for
yeah, I'm
sure.
really happy I didn't know how I would ever even like make another song or
Mm,
finish this album. It wasn't even like anywhere in my head. But yeah, it does feel a lot more special now and yeah, I'm really proud of it.
yeah, it's kind of a time capsule in a sense too, as well as like that honoring your mom
Yes.
and honoring her life and the good things as well as the bad that come with it. So I think that that's really cool that you were able to
Mm,
like create and process through that.
thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. To kind of follow up with that, how has that journey through grief shaped your growth, both as an artist and as a woman?
Mm. I mean, I feel like a totally different person.
Mm.
I that feeling has been hard for me because it's so weird when something so big happens and it just changes you. You're like it's
Yeah.
almost hard to look in the mirror because you're like, who is that looking at me?
Hmm.
Like I don't even, recognize this person.
Right.
Um, but I think as an artist and as a human being, it's allowed me to be so much more vulnerable and also it's allowed me to be a little bit more carefree in the way that I look at the music.
Hmm.
Because it's been so heavy that to me, I'm like, I can't believe I'm even here at all, like releasing my debut album.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's just been such a journey.
Yeah, I bet. I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So there was that qu a quote that I read from you that you where you mentioned that having your world crash down will change you. So that's kind of similar to what
Yeah.
we were talking about. And I did think it was such a relatable statement, and you've definitely like seemed to have risen from the ashes to create more confident,
Hmm.
fearless version of yourself, just based on like what I've heard in the album. And I don't know. Just like that question, I guess, is where were there other things that you touched on that you'd like to share that were kind of in that album and in that process?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, I my pain got so much more like being flipped upside down like that. I think I was like forced to be more vulnerable just in everyday
Mm,
life, but also, of course, in the album and
yeah.
as an artist. But it also there's a lot of the album now that feels like prettier and like more sparkly and stuff.
Hmm.
And I think that that just comes from my mom.
Mm,
And so it also like how I've also changed is the way I look at the world. It's like I see things more colorful and more
mm,
beautiful. And when things are painful, I see more pain. And when, you know what I mean, things are kind of
yeah.
like heightened for me in my sensitivity,
Mm,
which kind of because I've witnessed the most important, like my person passed away. So because I've witnessed this, it's like my sense of life is so precious.
mm,
And also kind of on the opposing side of that, I guess, the way I feel about how other people receive what I put out is I'm less sensitive about. You know what I mean? Because of the comparison of how
right.
crazy life has been. So yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
How would you advise anyone who listens to this album to basically find the light in the process and the contrast of those dark
Mm.
spaces that come up through grief and processing it?
Wow, I would say um, I think the album sheds a lot of light on love as a whole,
Mm,
um, the good and the bad of it. Um, and so I would say I hope that someone listens to this album and sees that one, that life is always worth living, even when it's really hard, because life is beautiful. And the reason we have some of our biggest, most heart-wrenching, feels like you're getting stabbed, pains in the world is because of love. Usually,
Yeah.
grief is massive because love is massive. It's just more love. So that's really what I want people to get from this, and hopefully that helps people on their own journey, whether that is through loss or through
Mm.
through death or other kinds of loss as well, just like heartache in general.
Mm. Yeah. Wow. That's really cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think I could get sense a little bit of that in that as well. So yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Cool. Yeah. To kind of shift things though, what's a favorite lyric you worked on from this album and why?
Ooh, there are a lot. Um, I think can I say two different ones?
Yeah.
Because they're so different, but I want to like keep the spirit of the album, which is both things. So,
Mm.
I think in Blue Eyes, which is a song I wrote for my mom, I think something that kind of keeps me going in life, like on my hardest days, and kind of what we were just talking about before, what really keeps me seeing the light and seeing the beauty around me is this idea that like I'm kind of living for both of us now, in a way. And so just when I say I'll live out the dreams that she passed down to me, like her own blue eyes, it's kind of like makes me feel less alone in life in general.
Mm.
And then on the other side of, I really love like putting in little quirky things about my personality into the lyrics. And so one that just like pops into my head is when I talk about being a Taurus, sun and rising, moon and Scorpio
Hmm.
in corset, and I'm like, just read the signs because as I get older, I'm like learning more and more about that. And I'm like, oh, I am so like a Taurus Scorpio thing happening. And so I just really love to put those little things in there. And then when I do, I love the response from people in my DMs or like in the comments that are like, oh my gosh, I feel so seen because I'm a Scorpio moon and I blah, 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 like that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And so those are like my two that come to mind right now, but I love them all.
Okay.
They're like my little babies.
Yeah. Yeah. I realize that that's not super nice question about like regarding an entire album, but there's so much to unpack from it, and I like how you picked two, and they both contrast each other because it goes through
Yeah.
those two mo moods. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
funny. No, I like
Yeah.
the question. It's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
Yeah, no, I mean like I said, it's not a super nice question because you
Yeah.
normally ask that about maybe a single or something. Maybe, I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
true.
asked that about an album yet, I don't think. So
That's really
I wanted
funny.
to kind of see what we could come up with.
I love it.
Um, yeah, so you've spoken about gaining confidence and caring less about others' opinions, and how has that new mindset impacted your songwriting?
Yeah, I think it's helped a lot.
Mhm.
I it's funny because sometimes when you're in the studio, there can be I usually don't live in this space, but there can be people who come in who are like, we need to appeal to this audience or we need to do this and to make the hit or whatever. And for me, it's been really empowering to have this kind of new thing about me because when I'm going in, I'm super authentic in the way that like I'm just telling my story. And sometimes
Mm,
it's stories of people close to me. Some of my songs are more inspired by stories of people close to me. And that comes from like the empath in me. But it feels really freeing. And I'm able to, I think, connect even more because of it. Because when you're really just straightforward and honest and you tell your story, it's crazy how many people are like, oh, same. I had this
mm,
exact same thing happen. And it just feels a little bit, it just feels way more authentic to me.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. How do you hope your journey and vulnerability inspire others who might be facing their own hardest seasons?
Oh my gosh. Um, I hope that, you know, when I talk about grief or depression or PTSD, anxiety, all kinds of things going on with me, when I talk about those things, um, even in a setting like this, or in my music, or in my visuals, I do it because it's how I'm able to connect to people. And so it's so hard. It's so vulnerable.
Mm,
It's like cutting myself open and being like, here's my wounds,
yeah.
here's everything I'm feeling. Um, but I think it's my purpose, and I think this is how I do it. Because if you put me in a social situation, I'm not that great. And I'm a little awkward. But something about this is like how I tell my story and how I maybe highlight other people's as well and make
Yeah.
people feel seen. And so that's just really important to me, and kind of keeping that relationship with the listener, because I hope it allows them to see it kind of in real life,
Yeah.
as much as possible. And or even sometimes seeing stuff in art helps you understand yourself. Like seeing the extreme of a painting or something, you're like, oh my gosh, like why do I feel that inside?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I hope it kind of does that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it definitely could. And yeah, I think it's interesting that you brought up that you're cutting yourself open in that way. How do you kind of just like know what to share and what not to share
Mm.
with
I feel
that
like
kind
I'm
of
like
thing?
a chronic oversharer. So, but I think I I think I'm developing better boundaries,
Mm,
in the sense that like for example, the song Blue Eyes on the album, right? Writing it, recording it, all of it was an extremely painful journey.
yeah.
It was, I could only record it a couple times, like it it was so hard. And I've had to come to terms with the fact that like it was so worth it to make that song. And people relate to it and feel seen in it, but it might not be worth it to me to sing it live. Like, I don't know when I will be able to sing that song live because it is so gut-wrenching for me to even hear it, let
Mm,
alone sing it. And so I think that's where I go, is like what can I do to pour myself into this stuff? Everything I make, as an artist and not as an artist, like everywhere I go and who I come in contact with. But how can I also protect myself and create new boundaries of what feels like I'm overdoing it when I could just protect myself a little more?
yeah. Do you have any tips for anybody that ha is trying to instill those boundaries? I mean, like, there's a lot. I think that there's something very relatable about your story, like
Mm.
introverts, chronic oversharing, and then learning to have those boundaries. Just because, like, I don't know, I do feel like you do have that empath
Yeah.
nature too. So there's that wanting to like share that
Hmm.
love and that express that love, but there's people that
Yeah.
take advantage of that, you know? So
No, that's such a good question. I would say therapy,
yeah,
number one.
yeah.
I started therapy, what, like I had never done it before, and then the week my mom passed, I started, and
Mm,
it changed my life. But I would say just even some of those things that I've learned in therapy, of like kind of being worthy of not everyone having to know everything all the time, in order to, like, I guess in order for them to love you or like you even.
yeah.
I think I operate from that space because I'm also, add it to the list, I'm also a people pleaser. So like that people pleaser mixed with empath is like you just want to make people happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like I'm learning to create these things of like, but does that make me happy? So that's kind of the advice I would give, is like it's okay if you have these personality traits. It's okay to like people please yourself. Like
Yeah,
it's okay to turn it around, because other people aren't going to do that for you, you know?
for sure.
You're the one doing it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
advice for now, but hopefully I gain a lot more advice because I need a lot more advice on this.
Yeah. Do you think you're like kind of more on that beginning of that journey and setting
Yeah.
boundaries and stuff? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I started that journey personally, I'd say around like 2020, 2021.
Wow.
Perfect time, I guess, right? When you're kind of
Yes.
forced to deal with everything. But
Literally.
yeah. Um
That's
yeah, so
funny. I'm proud of you.
thank you. Yeah, it is hard. It gets easier. It gets so much
Okay.
easier.
I need to
Yeah.
hear that. I needed your advice, honestly.
Your
I
gut is
feel
usually
that.
right. Like, especially if you're an empath. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The gut is
So
gutting.
the gut is gutting. You got to listen to it. Usually, yeah,
No, I love
it'll tell
that.
you.
That's great
It'll tell you
advice.
what's up. But yeah, what do you have planned next now that the album's out?
I'm like, so usually I'd be like, I'm working on the next album.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like letting it all, like I'm letting myself feel all the feelings.
Mm.
Because I mean, as we talked about, it took a lot to get here, with this album and just in my life. And so I'm definitely doing that, like trying to appreciate this moment while also thinking about hopefully a tour, because that would be really amazing to be able to be like face to face with people, and like singing the songs and seeing the way they react to it.
Yeah.
And that's always really special. And like I haven't gotten to like do a headlining tour since 2020, since right before we all went into lockdown.
Hmm.
And that was such a incredible like healing experience that I can only imagine what it would be like now with everything I've been through since then. But it's also going to be definitely emotionally challenging. Like my mom was with me on tour.
Mm.
So I can imagine that it will be really heavy and also beautiful, which is kind of the album too. Like it's kind of just me right now is like the spectrum of all those feelings. So yeah, but that's what I look forward to most, I think, is touring.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to see you live and hear those songs live. What would you say you're most looking forward to hearing, like the reaction wise, new song wise
Oh,
from your fans?
oh my gosh. I feel like I can't even pick. I think Corset and Pledge, are really like in your face.
Hmm.
And so those are really fun and like inspiring to me. Like I go and listen to them when I'm needing like some of those
Hmm.
good feelings. And also like performing those live, yeah, would just be like so I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing the reactions to that if I do get to see you live. So that would be
Yeah, no,
really
you have
cool.
to be there.
Yeah. Any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
No, I mean, I am just really grateful to anybody who listens to the album. Like it's so special to me. I think it's my greatest work
Mm.
yet. And I also, plan on evolving and I just am so proud of this exactly where it's at. And I don't always feel like that, to be honest.
Mm.
And I'm just like I gave everything I had to the album. And so I really hope people listen to it and love it and see themselves in it.
Mm. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really awesome talking with you.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Yeah.
And I just love your space so much.
Thank you.
It's kind of giving Weeping Angel album. I'm just saying.
I
I
mean,
love
yeah,
it.
a little bit.
It's like we're
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we have a lot in common. So,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Cool. All
Thank
right.
you.
Super nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Bye.